Hi, welcome to the Park District's Go Show. My name is Jerry Handlon. I used to work for the Schaumburg Park District, and I'm here with the President of the Board of Commissioners, George Longmeyer. He's co-hosting this show with me today, and we had the great opportunity to do this for a couple of different reasons. First, because George and I are both former Marines, and secondly, because we have the opportunity to interview two of the recruiting sergeants from the Schaumburg station here, which is located right on Schaumburg Road, and I forgot that other little side street there, George. Which would that be?
Carver Lane.
Carver Lane.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we are going to talk today about the Marine Corps and maybe a little bit of its history, but primarily about the opportunities that a young person can realize by joining the Marine Corps today, in lieu of the fact that we are in a major conflict. But still, there are other opportunities that exist within that branch of the service, and it's our favorite branch of the service, and it has a great tradition and a great history of serving this country. So, having said that, we just want to discuss the Marine Corps in general, sergeants, and Sergeant
Benasfre.
Yes, and Sergeant Kuchar.
Yes, sir.
All right. Welcome to the Go Show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, sir.
And we were just talking earlier, you've been in the Marine Corps for 7 years?
Yes, sir.
And
About 6.5 years.
6.5,
since
and you're both
2003.
considering a career.
Yes.
Okay.
I plan on it.
Now, have you thought in terms of his career would be non-commissioned all the way through, or would you, have you thought about going to OCS? Do they still have OCS?
Yes,
Yes, I do. For me personally, too much politics. So
Is it?
enlisted's the way for me, but maybe warrant officer. Just all depends.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I love being an enlisted guy.
You
so
do?
I don't plan on it.
Now, they have OCS, but most of the Marine Corps officers come out of Annapolis or the is it the PLC? Platoon leader
Platoon
classes?
leader
class, yeah,
Okay.
they had that in college.
They used to run those out of Quantico, Virginia.
Yep.
Is that still there?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The ones that are through Annapolis, they don't have to go to OCS. The PLC still does.
Oh, they do?
Along with everybody else.
Uh-huh.
The PLC just cuts them a break. They do
Yeah.
it in 2 sessions instead of 1.
Okay.
So,
So either of you guys ever do any DI work? No?
no, sir.
You wouldn't want to do that, huh?
This is recruiting duty is one of them special billets. We call it a B billet. So it's either drill and shutter duty or recruiter. So
Mhm.
Okay. And what, Sergeant, what possessed you to join the Marine Corps?
Well, I've always thought about being in the military my whole life. My dad was he was in the Navy, retired 20 years. So I thought always thought about the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the last one I checked out was the Marine Corps, and it just seemed like a better fit for me. You know,
Uh-huh.
I mean, the challenge is what attracted me more than anything, was to be the best. The infamous boot camp that the Marines go through to become Marines attracted me, and
Yeah.
the uniforms.
Sure, right. Well, we want to come back to that boot camp in a bit, but and what possessed you, Sergeant, to join the Marine Corps?
honestly, for me, it's something I always knew since I was a young kid. My grandfather was in the Marines, but honestly, what kind of threw me into it was September 11th.
Oh,
I was a senior in high school when it happened, and I kind of pretty much after that was like, where's the recruiter?
mm-hmm. Yeah, wow. So your father was in the Navy. Do you guys get back and forth at each other about how, the Navy is our personal chauffeur?
A little bit,
They
know.
take us around the world, That's great. So guys, a young person today, what could they expect if they were going to join the Marine Corps? If they come in to see you and they say, I'm interested, a man or a woman,
Mhm.
in joining, what's the first kind of information that you give to them?
Well, I mean, the biggest, obviously recruiters, the first thing would be to see if they're basically qualified. But once we're going from there, the biggest thing we address, I know myself and Sergeant Benasfre in our office, is that the Marine Corps it's got a lot of benefits, but ultimately it's something you want to do as a job. You're a Marine first for everything. Then we'll kind of talk about the benefits. And really the biggest thing I'll say is we kind of try and find out what exactly that individual is looking for, why they came to the Marine Corps. And nowadays, being that just the way things are, the Marine Corps has always been up on their numbers, but now we're to the point where we're asking the question to that young man or woman is, hey, what do you have to bring to the Marine Corps?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to offer? Instead of it being the other way around. Because the Marine Corps is always going to give you something, but the Marine Corps wants to know what you got to bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Interesting, yeah. That is a new way of recruiting.
Mhm.
Don't you think, George?
Oh, yeah, compared to when we went in.
Yeah. And you joined in from Illinois, right?
Yeah. I joined here, but I went through St. Louis for recruitment.
Okay.
Got sworn in St. Louis and then flew out to San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first day we flew out there and talking about boot camp. And two DIs met us, the big bus, and there's, I don't know, about 80 of us. Took us to this Italian restaurant, and they were, hey, how you doing, guys, you know? And after we finished eating, we got back on the bus. Hey, come on, back on the bus. The minute that door closed,
Things changed.
oh boy,
Yeah.
I go, what did I get myself into here?
Yeah. Why does that guy have it in for me
Yeah, I
personally?
don't know, what did I
Yeah.
do?
Isn't that something? Now, in boot camp, you guys, what's boot camp like today? I mean, of course, it's been 6, 7 years since you went through it, but
Yeah.
is it as horrid as you know? You hear all these stories.
I don't know if horrid's the word. It's definitely something. There's no way to be fully prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've all been through it, so it's something that you could be told everything there is to know, but there's still to be that unexpected thing. Boot camp, no, it's not as horrid as everybody makes it out to be. I think it's one of the things that ultimately goes back to what I said in the beginning, is that if you want to be a Marine, nothing else is going to matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's still going to be rough, but nothing else is going to matter.
Mm-hmm.
The only changes, I mean, since from even when I went and Sergeant Benasfre went, when you guys went, the biggest thing for you guys, I guess, would be the Crucible, which is the ultimate test. We've moved it around a lot. The Crucible is 54 hours, 56 miles that are covered, with about 3 days rations of food. But that's everything up to that point. You're being trained to have that ultimate test.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the biggest step, and from that point on is when you earn a title Marine. Like I said, boot camp, they moved around a lot. They instated it, and it comes in the beginning. Now it's at the end, and now it's actually at the end, and you get called a Marine for the last about 2 weeks of boot camp. So that's
And boot camp is 12 weeks now?
it's still 13 weeks. But it's always been 12 weeks of training.
Okay.
So that first week is just getting situated, getting everything together, and then after that it's 12 weeks of training.
Yeah. And well, of course, that's the Hollywood Marines. At Parris Island, it was 16 weeks.
Oh,
Wow.
I didn't know that. But that must be because it's level
But
there.
of course, now that's going back into the very, very late 50s, early 60s. And I think they finally did away with the 16-week, and it's 12 there now as well.
No,
or
it's
But
13.
16
schedule
in
too.
Parris Island?
Yeah, it
That's
was,
because you guys
16.
got lost all the time.
That's probably true.
That's because it's level, right?
It's level,
everywhere.
yeah.
There's no
So
mountains.
now, someone joins the Marine Corps, or no, let me put it this way. Someone comes in and talks to you guys about that, and you say, well, what are you going to offer the Marine Corps? Is there certain things, and not to give this away to anyone, but is there certain things you look for that says this person, man or woman, would be good for the Corps? Or, I'm not so sure.
I mean, we say the whole person concept. We try and give everybody a chance. Obviously recruiters were looking for certain individuals, but at the same time, you can't always be like, this is all I want. You always got to give them the chance. But as far as things we're looking for, a guy that's in shape, a guy that stays out of trouble, guy got a good head on his shoulders, or woman, but really drive, and the drive to even improve. So I got a guy, I've had a handful of guys that couldn't really do PT, physical training, but ultimately they showed a drive, and they got better, and they're Marines now. So, but generally, somebody's in good shape, somebody stays out of trouble, good on their shoulders, smart.
What kind of programs do you, I know some of the other services, when you enlist, you can sign up to be an aircraft mechanic, or at least tentatively say this is where your MOS will be. Does the Marine Corps
Yes.
still have that? Where
Yes,
you
the Marine Corps still, there's always this rumors and hearsay that we don't offer jobs. We're just like every other branch. The only difference with us is that we guarantee a job field. And actually, since you said aviation mechanic, that's the easiest one to explain, is I can guarantee that you'll work on an aircraft. You'll be wrenching on an aircraft in some way or form. I can't look at you and say you are going to be an F-18 airframe guy.
Yeah.
However, I can tell you, you will be working on a fixed wing or rotary wing aircraft. You may be working on a power plant. You may be working on the airframe,
Jets.
stuff like that.
Yeah, besides just the basic,
Wherever they need you.
Yeah.
I think besides your basic duties, you're basically a rifleman to start
Yeah,
with. But
every Marine's a basic rifleman. You still get all that same
Yeah.
training, and then from there it goes on to that
Yeah.
specialty training.